Hi guys and welcome back. Thank you for so much for tuning in. It's Friday night. It's about 9 o'clock here where I am in southern Indiana, and I'm just sitting here coloring all by myself. And I thought I would take this opportunity to come on and maybe do just a little color and chat session because I don't do those yet. I enjoy them. Those are my favorite videos to watch. Yes, I watch tutorials. Yes, I just watch people color just to watch them color. But I think my favorite videos on YouTube are the color and chats. And over at A Colorful Life did a live stream today, and that was just so much fun to go in and talk to everybody and kind of hang out and get to know your fellow colorists a little bit more. And so that made me really happy. So just a word of warning, if you are not into coloring and chatting and you don't want to hear about my boring life with children and dogs and then you may want to tune out now because that's what this is going to be about. In the future, for everyone who's subscribed to me, if you don't like these kinds of videos, I'm going to label them as I'll put like chat or something in the title so that you'll know to steer clear of that one if it's not something you're into. I don't want to run you guys off. But I do, kind of want to engage with people and get to know you guys because that's part of the whole fun of this whole coloring hobby is getting to know the people that that you talk to and that you color with and that you're learning from. And I pay attention to a lot of people. I've talked about this in other videos. And over at A Colorful Life is wonderful. She's all about products, and she'll tell you what she likes and what she doesn't. That's wonderful. I get so many of my ideas from her. Um, I watch Rachel over at Pencil Stash. I watch Jennifer Stay at Coloring Pages Bliss. I'm throwing my pencil at myself. I watch Dee Dee Willingham. I watch Peter Hewitt. There's just so many people. And my favorite videos are the ones where, these ladies just sit and they talk about coloring and about their day and about what's going on and, what their work in progress. And of course, I'm sure you probably recognize mine. I'm sure some of you have probably finished it. If you guys have finished this page, by the way, and this is out of Kerby Rosanes Mythomorphia, if you guys have finished this one, please do me a favor and head over to my Facebook site, Simple Art for Adults on Facebook. You'll find the link at the channel also and probably in the description if I remember to put it in there this time. And upload your pictures of this that you've done because I think I have an idea how I want to do the whole entire picture, but there's going to be so many colors in it that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the background yet. So I'd like to take some inspiration from some of you guys. If you have some ideas, that would be wonderful. And also, playing on the theme of my last video that I did with the inexpensive color pencils and the last time we looked at Crayola, I'm doing this whole thing, this double page spread with this right here, Marco Raffine. I love these pencils. They're inexpensive. It's $20 for the whole box of 72. I order them 2 at a time when I do order them. This way, if I use one all the way, then I have a whole other box I can reach into and pull that one out. Unfortunately, these don't come open stock. I think it's every colorist's dream to find a colored pencil manufacturer who makes an inexpensive line of colored pencils where you can like literally go on their website and order pencils for like $0.25 a pop. I would totally do it. It would be hands down my favorite pencil ever, but nobody does it. So if we have any entrepreneurs in the audience watching this video and you want to make some money, it might be a good idea for you. Go and make a little get rich quick scheme. Go and develop some color pencils that are available open stock for $0.25 a piece. That would be great. So I'm doing this whole entire thing with Marco Raffines, and they're like $20 a box, like I said. I absolutely love them. I've not run into one problem with them. They are especially nice on this paper in this book, in Mythomorphia, and I think I'm going to continue to use them in this book. I don't like them so much in Johanna Basford's books, and I honestly, like when I feel the paper, I can't tell a whole lot of difference between the two. They feel like much the same paper, but I feel like these just kind of like lay on top of the paper in her books, and they don't go down in there. And so when I layer, I end up with this weird marbly looking thing that doesn't look right to me. So I tend to stick to Prismacolors or something in her books. I may try my Blicks that I got in her books because I have not used those in any of her books yet. So that may be something to try. Well, that is if I ever finish this, considering it's like massively huge and I don't know if I ever will. Trying to adjust the lighting. It's nighttime outside, guys, so I mean, I'm like struggling with lighting today, and I know it's like probably really shiny and bright on your end. And I do apologize if that's the case. I'm trying to adjust it so it's not so bad. For whatever reason, it's being especially difficult today, and I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's just so bright. It's like the colors that you're seeing are washed out even. So I don't know how you guys feel about Kerby Rosanes books, but like, I'm sure that you guys have noticed much the same thing that I have. I'll try to move this light. See if I can't make it not quite so bright. Let's see if that's any better. With his books, he's got like, in every single image, he has like all these little doodles, right? And I can't tell sometimes if it's water, if it's smoke. I don't know what it is. And I usually try to color it as either water or smoke. And I kind of got tired of doing that. So I chose this dragon specifically so I could color the water/smoke stuff as fire and try to do something different, stepping outside of my comfort zone with this really super intricate dragon image. So we are going to see how that turns out, because I honestly am not... Oh, that's a little better, isn't it? That's much better. I'll do that. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So my goal is to do this whole thing in the Raffines and then show you guys at the end that you can do some pretty awesome stuff with some pretty cheap stuff. Sorry, I need to take a drink. I had to... This is the second time I've tried to do this video tonight. The first time, I got about 10 minutes into it, and my dog started whining like crazy. Like, he was really whining. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. So I stopped the video, and I got up, and I took him outside because I thought, well, you know, maybe he needs to go to the bathroom. That wasn't it. Well, maybe he needs a drink of water, but his water dish is full. They've just eaten, so I know he's not hungry. Well, and then it dawned on me. I'm in my bedroom at night with the door closed, talking. And to my dogs, that means there is somebody outside the door that they don't know very well. And so my dog is whining because he thinks he needs to get out of the room and go meet whoever is out there and get some lovin's. So my teenagers now have the dogs in there with them so that I can color and talk without him whining. And he whines so loudly. I feel so sorry for him. He is and I don't know how many of you all are familiar with different breeds of dogs. Bandit is a mix of a Walker Coonhound, which is a pretty good sized dog. They're usually about 50 pounds or so, and a Mountain Feist. And a Mountain Feist is a small dog that looks kind of like a Walker Coonhound, but in a small version. So my dog is like he doesn't look much like Feist. He looks more like Coonhound, but he's like a smaller version. He weighs about 40 pounds still, so he's not a small dog by any means, but... And he has anxiety. He has like the worst anxiety, and it breaks my heart. The poor guy. He was... One of my friends bought him originally to, as a hunting dog, because he, you know, he's a hunter. That's how he feeds his family, is he hunts. And he was so gun shy, and he couldn't be trained out of it, so he couldn't keep him because of course he needed a hunting dog and he couldn't have two. So Bandit, who's the Coonhound, ended up with one of his other friends at the time who mistreated him, and he found out that the dog was being mistreated, and he went and rescued him back, and then I ended up with him, and I've had him now for going on 3 years, I think. Yeah, right at like 3 years, I think. So he still has horrible anxiety, and of course, you know, we do our best with it. He hates thunderstorms. He hates the 4th of July. Oh, I just broke that pencil. That's sad. That's the first time that's ever happened with these two. I usually don't have that problem with these pencils. He hates the 4th of July. He hates loud sounds. I live in the city, so fortunately we don't have a lot of guys who come out and like shoot guns or anything like that. It's illegal in city limits, so we don't have much of that. So he doesn't have to deal with that here. But we do still get our fair share of thunderstorms and things, and it just absolutely terrifies him. So our vet recommends Benadryl when we know it's going to thunderstorm, to give him Benadryl and try to get him to calm down beforehand, and, you know, hope he sleeps through it. 4th of July is another story. Poor dog. And then we have another dog. We have, sorry, I'm looking for my other colors. We have a full-blooded blue heeler, and his name is Smokey, and he came to us as a puppy. The only thing about that irritated me is that his tail was docked when we got him. And I've done my research, and I understand why these dogs have their tails docked. So that's not the issue. It's just that Smokey isn't a working dog. He's not a cattle dog, and he was never going to be a cattle dog. So I'm not really certain why it was necessary to do that to him. There could be a health reason behind it. For all I honestly don't know. I know that's a lot of reason why some dogs have their ears clipped, because in the long run it causes them fewer health issues, or at least that's what I hear. So yeah, but Smokey's probably the most obedient dog I've ever seen in my entire life. He knows pretty well all the commands. Couldn't ask for a better dog. But they are not with me tonight. They are actually with my teenagers in the other room, so I can talk your face off while I color in Mythomorphia. I don't know if any of you guys are dog people. I absolutely love my dogs and my kids. I'm all about my dogs and my kids. I love the way these pencils layer. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'm doing the smoky, whatever it is, smoky stuff. I colored over it first in yellow. Now I'm going over it with some orange in a few places, just to add some shadow and some contrast to make it look more like fire. And it's just going right over the top, just like it's nothing, just like butter. That's what I really, really like about these pencils, is they just do that. I don't have to push really hard. I don't have to force them. They just do it. And that's good stuff. So speaking of kids, my oldest is 15. She turned 15 in April. And she got her driver's learning permit today. This was her second attempt at taking they have to take a written test now before they can get a permit. It wasn't that way when I was a kid. We just got one when we turned it was like 15 and 30 days, and then we learned how to drive, and driver's education in school, and then after that we took our written test before we got our driver's license, and that's how it worked. Now it's not like that. Now they have to pass the written test before they even get their permit, and so she didn't pass it the first time. She missed it just barely, and we studied and we studied, and she passed this time. So, if you guys don't hear from me again next week, you'll know what happened. I hope she doesn't watch this video. She'll be so upset with me. No, I have all the faith in the world in her. I'm sure she's going to be a great driver. It just kind of, I'm sure that we've all been there at some point. You wonder, my goodness, when did I get this old? And when did my kids get this old? And how am I going to let go and let them be independent and not be there to wash their clothes anymore or fold them correctly? I don't know. I'm sure I'll make it. I'm sure I'll make it. If you have any, sage wisdom to give me, I'm more than willing to listen to it. I think this is gonna look nice. I'm really into this picture. I think the fire was a good idea. I'm not so sure about the dragon, because, okay, so I've got the dragon's body done in green, right? So I've got his belly done in a light green, and I've got his body done in a darker green, and I've got his head purple, and I've got like, he's got like this mane, right? That goes all the way around. It comes down here and out here, and then it like comes out here a little bit and blends in. I think I'm gonna stop it right there. And then on this side, he's got, like, you can see it going all the way around his body. That's all going to be the same purple as his head to try to tie it all together. But I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have done purple now that I look at it. Thinking maybe I should have went with like a different shade of green. Because I'm completely lost as to what I'm going to do for the background for this picture. I have no idea. I don't know if I want to do like maybe black. I can get some black acrylic paint and do black acrylic paint. Which works really well on these coloring books with these thicker pages. If you use non-diluted acrylic paint and a really thin paintbrush, and you just get down in there and you let it sit open to dry for like all day once you get it on there, it does a great job. It won't wrinkle your paper. It won't buckle your paper. And as a matter of fact, with acrylic, once you get it all on there and it dries completely, you can write on it with colored pencil and it won't hurt it. So if I wanted to do it all in black acrylic and then go back and add like stars or something with even with a white Prismacolor colored pencil, or with my jelly roll, I could, the colored pencil would probably work better than the jelly roll on acrylic, I would think. Maybe when I get to that point, I'll come back and do a video on that too. What do you guys think? Do you think a black background would look good on this when I get it finished? And I need to think of a different color to do like all these little lanterns. Because there's lanterns here, there's lanterns here, there's lanterns here. He's got something in his foot over here. Can't tell what that is. What's in his foot back here? You probably can't even see it because I'm off the screen with it. Got something in his foot. It's like a bowling ball almost. And there's foliage down here a little bit. There's some firecrackers. There's a vase. There's a fish. There's a mountain range. Of course, I'll do that in gray. Little Chinese, I forget what they call the temples. Forget what those are called. Ooh, this is going to be pretty. The purple. If you look what's coming off the end of his tail, I'm going to do that in the same purples as his face. That'll look neat. I just don't know what to do for the background, guys. I think if I avoid black, I avoid using anything black and anything too dark, I could probably pull off black for the background. I think it's going to be hard because if you look over here, there's all these little tiny spots. But I think if I use a small enough paintbrush, I can get it in there without making a mess. What do you guys think I should do? This is why I don't color in these books, guys. I stick with like simple floral patterns and whatnot usually because I enjoy coloring and I like layering and blending and shadows and things like that. But when it gets into the really intricate stuff with stuff everywhere, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do sometimes. So I chose this image because it is what it is, and I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to show off the Raffine pencils because I think this would be a good opportunity to do it. But now I'm second guessing myself because I think, well, Erin, maybe you should have picked a different picture. I don't know. Yeah, this is really all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to take a minute while I was coloring and just kind of come in and chat and say hello and show you what I'm working on and talk about my life and bore your brains out, you know, that kind of thing. But if you haven't subscribed yet, not all my videos are like this. Most of the things that I do they're educational in some way. Like I'll talk about how to pick colors for your coloring books, or I'll talk about what I think of this particular brand of colored pencils, or you know, how to blend, how to layer, how to shade, that kind of thing. This is my first chit chat video, and I don't know how well it's going to go over. But like I said, if it's not your cup of tea, I apologize right now. But in the future, when I make these types of videos, I will put it in the description, or actually in the title of the video, so that when you see it, if you subscribe to me, and you will know I don't that's not something I care to watch. But that's pretty much all I got for you today, guys. I am asking for your advice today. So if you have advice as to what I should do for this background, or what kind of color scheme you think I should do for these lanterns, comments below are wonderful. You can also go to the Facebook group, Simple Art for Adults. Put your pictures, if you've done this, put it there, and kind of, you know, if you don't mind, to give like an explanation of why you chose your colors and why you think it works. I definitely need some inspiration for this. I'm in way over my head, so that would be great. Once again, guys, if you are not subscribed, please do so. Every single subscriber helps the channel grow. Don't If you want to share this video with your friends, go right ahead. Join the Facebook group. Check out the website. I really appreciate every single one of you guys taking time out of your day to watch me or listen to me ramble on. It makes me really happy, and I like watching you guys too. So have a good night. Happy Friday night. Happy coloring. I can't wait to see what you guys are working on.